Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about few more medical related terminology prefixes that we can use in order to denote something as color. Okay, so basically we will discuss about the medical terminology prefixes that is used to indicate the coloring. Okay, so if you are referring the entire series, then I think you know the that we have already covered various topics related to the medical terminology prefixes that we were used to denote something as properties like shape, size, right? And also the color. We have already discussed a few terminology prefixes that denotes the color. So this session is in the continuation of the same. Okay. So how we are going to proceed with the session? First of all, I'll tell you about few medical prefixes, and then later, after understanding the definition, we will look for some examples, because without examples, it would be a bit difficult for you to understand and to identify the same from diagnosis report, or maybe for some competitive exams questions. Okay, so that's why we will firstly discuss the actual meaning, and then we'll see the examples also, because our main target is to identify the terminology, the meaning of terminology. Now, for those who don't know the meaning about the prefix, so prefix is a word that attaches with the medical terminology at the beginning, and from there it produces some meaning. It denotes something like maybe the color, the physical property, or anything. Okay, so this type of word is known as prefix. So let's look at what all prefixes we have for today. The first prefix is erythro or erytho. Now what is erythro? Erythro is a prefix which we can use, or which is used to denote the red color. Okay, so uh, whenever we are using any medical terminology which is indicating something as red color, then in that case we will use the prefix erythro or erythr. Okay, so this is the definition. Now we will see the examples as well. The first example is erythema. Now what is erythema? It is a condition where redness of the skin, often due to inflammation of increased blood flow. So whenever the blood flow is increased in the body, then it produces the redness of the skin. So here you can see the term redness. This redness is indicated with the help of prefix erythr. Okay, so the complete terminology is erythema and the prefix is erythr. Likewise, if you look at the second example, which is erythroblast. Now what is erythroblast? It is an immature red blood cell. So again you can see immature red blood cell, RBC. So whenever we want to denote or we want to indicate the immature red blood cell, then in that case we will use the terminology erythroblast, which is composed with the medical prefix erythro. Okay. Likewise, you can look at the third example, which is erythroblastosis fetalis. Erythroblastosis fetalis. Now, what is this? It is a condition in which mother's immune system attacks the red blood cells of an unborn baby. Okay, so again, you will find that something we are talking about as red blood cell or RBC, a condition in which mother's immune system attacks the red blood cells of an unborn baby. So this type of condition we will denote with the help of medical terminology erythroblastosis fetalis, which is initiated with the prefix erythro. Then in fourth example, we are talking about the erythrocyanosis. If you have covered the previous session, there we discuss another medical prefix cyano, which we were used to denote the blue color. So here for this medical terminology, we are combining two type of prefixes, which is erythro and cyano. So that's why the terminology is erythrocyanosis. Okay, so the definition is blueness or cyanosis of the skin combined with redness. So in this type of disease, both color is appeared, whether it is redness or blueness. Okay, now if you look at all the examples again, you will find one common thing, which is redness. Somewhere we are talking about redness of the skin, somewhere we are talking about the red blood cell, or redness of the redness or blueness of the skin. Okay, so just to showcase that red color, we are using the prefix erythro or erythr. Okay, so this is all about the erythro or erythr. Now we will look at the next prefix. Next prefix is leuco, leuk or leuco, which is used to denote white color. Likewise, we just discussed about the red color. Likewise, if you want to showcase something as white, then in that case you can utilize the prefix leuk या leuco. The first example is leukemia. Now, what is leukemia? It is a group of blood cancers characterized by the abnormal productions of white blood cells. So it is a kind of disease, you can see blood cancer, which is characterized by the abnormal production of white blood cells. So just to denote that white blood cells, we are talking about leuk or leukemia. Leukemia is a complete terminology and leuk is a prefix. Then we have leukocytosis. Now what is leukocytosis? An, an increase in the number of white blood cells in the body. So whenever a patient suffer from the leukocytosis, then in that case the number of white blood cells is increased in her body, her or his body. Okay, so this the thing we will denote with the prefix leuco, which is combined with the complete terminology leukocytosis. Now just opposite of it, we have leukocytopenia, which means a decrease in the number of white blood cells in the blood. So when the white blood cells is decreased, then in that case we will denote it with the help of um, leukocytopenia, which is also started with the prefix leuco and denoting the white. Now last example for this prefix is leukoderma. Now what is leukoderma? A skin condition characterized by localized loss of pigmentation resulting in white patches. So again we are talking about the white patches, which is denoted with the help of leuco prefix. Okay, so if you look at all these examples again, you will find that yes, one thing is common here, which is leuk, and that is representing the white color. Fine. Now we will see the last prefix for this session, which is Melan or melano. Now what is Melan melano? It is a medical terminology prefix which we use in order to denote black color. For example, melanin. Now what is melanin? It is a pigment that is responsible for the dark color of skin, hair and eyes. So whenever we see any dark color in the body or the skin, or it could be skin, hair or eyes, then it is because of the pigment which is responsible for this black color. Okay, and that pigment is known as melanin. So again, this is related to black, that's why we are using the melan. Likewise, we have melanocyte, which means a cell that produces melanin. So here we are talking about the cell that produces that pigment. And in the first example, we are talking about the pigment, and in second example, we are talking about the cell that produces that pigment. Then we have next example, melanoma, a type of skin cancer that originate in melanocyte. So if a cancer produces in the cell that produce the melanin, the pigment, then that type of cancer we will denote with the help of melanoma. After that, we have last example, which is melanosis, which means abnormal deposition of black or dark pigment in tissues. Okay, so these are the all examples which we can use in order to denote or uh, indicate something as black with a medical terminology. I hope this session is clear to all of you. And for today, we have one question: what information is provided by the prefix cyano and chloro? You can answer this in comment section. So I request you to share your knowledge, and if you have any difficulty in this question, then you can check out the previous session. These are the things that we have already covered in our previous sessions. So yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.